To start your Webex meeting for your classroom, you need to first open Google Chrome or Firefox and go to cccs-meetings.webex.com. When you get there, you need to click the Sign In button and then add your college email address and click Next. This will take you to a second sign-on that is specific to the Colorado Community College system, and here's where you want to put the domain for the college you're at. So for us it's MCC, a backslash, an S with a capital letter, and then the rest of your S number. Then you'll need to put in your password that you use to sign on to the computers on the campus. This is not the same password that you use to log into MyMCC. If you don't know what this password is, or you forgot it, please contact the MCC IT staff or the distance learning staff. Once you have your username and password in, click Sign In, and you should be able to get into your Webex homepage. There are a lot of things you can do from here, but what we're going to focus on is the personal room. This personal room has a stable address that you can copy and paste into your D2L shell so that students can access your meeting room during class times. Now, before you click Start Meeting, if this is the first time you've logged in, you need to click this drop-down option and choose Always Start from the desktop app. This allows us to have the same screen when we're working with tech support professionals to ensure that we're looking at something very similar. Once you've chosen this, the next time you come in here, it should be your default option. The only times that you might need to choose it again are if you get a new computer, you clean up your web browser, or you start a new browser. Okay, so now we can click Start Meeting. Before I do though, just know that if this is the very first time that you've logged into Webex or started a meeting, it may have a step in between here where it downloads an executable file or a download manager file, depending on which operating system you're in, that you're going to need to wait to download, and then when it's done, double click it to open it and follow the instructions or have it install. It's a fairly quick process, and once you've done it the first time, you shouldn't have to do it again, which is why I can't show you how to do it because I've already done it. So now when I click Start Meeting, and after that first time, every time you click Start Meeting, it should automatically start the meeting. Okay, so the first thing it's going to ask you to do is set up your audio and video. The option we want you to always choose is Call Using the Computer. Now, this is going to show you right now how the audio is coming out to you through a stereo or a microphone or your built-in speakers on your computer, and what your microphone is. So my microphone is a Yeti stereo microphone, and that's why it's listed here. But instead of using these quick drop-down menus, what we actually want you to do is click More Options so that you can test out your microphone and your speaker. As I'm talking, you can see the microphone is working, so that part is done. If it wasn't working, you could change the audio slider here, snap to test it out, or you can choose a different option here. In terms of the speaker, we can choose a different speaker option for me because I don't want the output of the audio to come through my microphone. I want it to come through the speakers on my computer. So I'm going to choose built-in output. Now what we need you to do with this is test it, and when you click test, you should hear some chimes. If you can hear those chimes, then your output is working. You can again adjust the volume slider here, or you can choose to automatically adjust the volume here. The reason why we want you to test it out and not just change these settings is if we can make sure that your speaker and your microphone are functioning properly, then we know that if a student is having an issue, it's probably on their end with their equipment and not on your end with yours. So it's really important that you test it every time you start the class. Go ahead and click OK when you've got the settings you want. And the last thing is to choose to add your video connection. Right now mine says no video. So if I wanted to show video, I could choose my camera here. I have a built-in FaceTime camera, but for you, it might have a different name, but this will list your webcam here. If you choose this drop-down menu and all you see is no video, or the drop-down menu doesn't even let you drop it down, then that means that your webcam is not connected and you need to do some troubleshooting or contact the distance learning staff. So let's go ahead and choose the FaceTime high def camera. It's going to give you a preview. See, there I am. Yay. Okay. So once you have that preview going, you know that it's working. And now we can click Connect Audio and Video. Okay, so once you're in the course, you can see that it's waiting for others to join. If you move your mouse, you'll be able to see these quick links at the bottom. The first one we're going to use is the Participants button. This will bring up a window panel that shows everybody that's in the course right now. Right now it's just me, and it's showing that there is some audio coming through my microphone by these animated audio wave lines. And then this is where I can also turn on and off my camera or mute myself. Your students should be listed here, and they should have a unique name. If not, you might need to coach them on putting a unique name in there. And then in addition, you can also add the chat, and this is where you can type to them, they can type to you, etc. So over here, we can also mute ourselves, turn the camera on and off. We can share content, meaning we can share a screen if we're trying to teach them how to use something on a website, or share the screen on our computer for some reason. And you can also record the entire session, which is really great for people who are absent or who might need to review the material again. You also have the options to do notes and polling. You can also invite and remind or copy meeting link, and that's good if D2L is down. And you can troubleshoot the audio connection. So remember, if you're hearing some audio from people, like some background noise, or they're talking and they forgot and it's distracting your class, usually what they're going to have is they're going to have a mute button here, so you can manually mute them as well. Another thing that I found when working in Webex is you have to be careful with how loud your microphone is. If it sounds good to you, it might not sound good to the others on the other end. It might be too loud or too quiet. So one thing you can do is, if they're saying that it's hard to hear you, click on this little ellipses, go to audio connection, and then make sure that your stereo microphone is up. So right now this is at full volume. If I bring it down, you can hear what's happening now. And then if I go really quiet, then you can hear what's happening on your end. So make sure to put your stereo microphone at a high enough level so people can hear it. Okay, last but not least, other settings that you can look at. You have all of your meeting information here. And in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a bunch of menus that have a lot of different options that you can play with or troubleshoot with if you need to. If you're on a PC, then it'll be a part of the program window and the menus will move with it. If you're on a Mac, the menus will always be in the upper left-hand corner. So that's the basics of setting up your course in Webex. If you have any questions, please contact the instruction office or make sure to get a hold of the distance support staff.